Hey guys, Brian here with Audio Plugin Deals once again, coming at you with our deal for the next couple weeks. It's going to be called the Sonuscore bundle, and it is a big one because it includes 3 separate products, and as a bundle, it will be 72% off. Now, if you own any one of these products, you can buy the other 2 for 50% off individually. So there is a lot of discounts going on here. So without further ado, let's check out the Sonuscore bundle. Alright guys, so let's dive right into this deal here. I covered the lyrical cello phrases quite in depth about a week ago in another video, so I'm not going to touch on that one as in depth here. So let's start with Origins Volume 1, which is a very unique sample library, and it consists of 2 instruments, a steel tongue drum and a sansula. And what the heck is that? It's kind of similar to a kalimba or a little thumb piano. Now, this word sansula is not even in the dictionary, so it is not a common instrument. I had to kind of dig to even find out how to pronounce it. But there you have it. This library combines those 2 samples, and by default it loads up arpeggios, which are quite fun to play around with. This library has kind of an innocent sound to it. So of course that was not an arpeggio because I had just the main samples there, but let's see what it sounds like with the arpeggiator on. So each one has a different sound, and over here in the color section you can change the overall reverb sound and the amount of detail in the individual samples themselves. So really you can get a very wide variety of sounds from this library. Some of those sounded a bit more electronic, like they had some filters going on or phasing. Then they had, one of them sound like they had a high pass filter on there, and you can all adjust that within the GUI and the effects section as well. So previously that was just the sansula playing, now it's the steel tongue drum. Very beautiful, very innocent type sound. But it can also be a bit haunting there. So it is a very unique library. The combination of these two instruments and then with the arpeggiator and these presets, plus being able to use each of these instruments as individual samples, or you know, without the arpeggiator you can just play them and program your own melodies. It is pretty nice, and it has a unique sound. It's going to add a lot of atmosphere to any track that may call for it. So let's go to Trinity Drums, which is the biggest collection here. Now I find this library is very similar to Native Instruments Action Strikes and Heaviosity Damage. Both are in Native Instruments Complete. So I feel like a lot of people kind of know those libraries. So Trinity Drums is a bit similar, but it also of course has its own unique sound. And so it's basically loop based. If you play right there in that yellow range, it will play all of the layers of the pattern. So each pattern is made up of bass notes, mid notes, and high notes, all percussive. And if you play that key right there, we get the whole pattern. If you play these green keys, the corresponding green keys play single hits from that pattern. So you can add your own, you know, accents to the pattern. And then right here, just the bass notes. In this range, just the mid notes. And in this range, just the high notes. So we have both cinematic and modern presets. Now that's why I say it sounds a bit like Heaviosity Damage. It can be very aggressive, very modern, and very electronic, or it can be more cinematic and traditional. It's a great pattern. I love a great library. I love libraries like these with these predetermined patterns. These are the best for getting something delivered quickly, maybe adding a bit of your own effects or sound design to that pattern so it's not as recognizable, but there is a lot of usable content, instantly usable, just load it up for some inspiration, even as just a temp track for, say, a drum pattern that you may go back and reprogram with your own samples and patterns. But this is a great tool nonetheless, and I use tools like these all of the time. So let's listen to a little bit more of the different presets that are available. So I really like this one. It sounds like clockwork, and I believe the Origins instrument also sounds a bit like a music box, which reminds me of that kind of clockwork feel. So again, that was using only the instruments included in the Sonuscore bundle. Very useful content. So those are just some patterns from the modern section. Again, remember, any of those layers can be, you know, soloed or taken out depending on which key range you press. So if there's an element you don't really like, you can kind of customize the pattern to only include the elements that you do like. Let's take a listen to a couple more in the cinematic. So yeah, I mean, these range from, cinematic, traditional to some really aggressive electronic sounds that would be great for a movie trailer or something similar like that. So this was a brief rundown of what you get and how easy it is to make a full track using only these instruments. A couple of them are loop based. You get arpeggios, you get drums, you get the cello, which includes legato as well as phrases. There's a lot of really great content in here, especially if you need to deliver on a deadline and you need something that just works right out of the box. You found it right here. So again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you think of the Sonuscore bundle. Which product was your favorite out of the ones you've heard today? And again, this is Brian with Audio Plugin Deals. Thank you for watching.